Here's Riggs, the freaking barking maniac. Oh no! Here we are. It's called Matters because it matters. You heard? We'll hear it right here every week on Matters. What's up, everybody? We are back, better than ever, for season 2, episode 1 of Matters. I was on vacation, you know. There's Gizmo back there, back there. He's ready for season 2. And yeah, my hair looks a little crazy today. I need a haircut. I gotta get some help.
That sweetness all right. You don't even know what I feel to.
Over here. But yeah, we're back from vacation, and I was only gone for a week, and a lot has happened since then. My microphone was getting loose there. But yeah, we're back from vacation, and I was sick my whole vacation, and that kind of sucked.
I better take care of this.
So I might sound a little stuffy still because I just don't. I had something, and it was killing me. It wasn't killing me, but just the mucus and the coughing. And I feel like, you know, we used to be sick. You'd be sick for like a week, maybe a few days, but now it's like freaking 2 to 3 weeks that you're just sick. But yeah, so I did fly to Maryland, and for the week, nice spring break trip. But I didn't have any difficulties at the airport, despite what exactly. Didn't have any difficulties at the airport, despite what's going on. But yeah, we're gonna get into some of that today, also. And we got the St. John's banner behind us, because you know they're in the Sweet 16. They play Duke this Friday. Let's go Red Storm! I hope they continue to win, because that last game was just crazy. Buzzer beater, down to the final second. Man, that was intense. I was sweating that game. I was sweating that game. That was came down to the wire. But yeah, that was a great game. So hopefully they can beat Duke, though. I think they have to shoot a lot better if they want to beat Duke. We're gonna see it's gonna be an intense battle. And baseball also starts tomorrow, which is just crazy because it's like 30 degrees outside today here in Massachusetts. And other places are not that warm either, but I think it's going to be a nice 66-degree day for them. I know the Mets play on the next day after that, which is crazy. Like, baseball just starts too early. We got the little Mets helmet back there. We got all our stuff representation back there. But yeah, baseball starts already, but I can't watch regular season baseball when March Madness is going on. Like, it's just hard to watch. But baseball's going to be in a lockout next year anyway, so who cares? But hopefully they don't end up in a lockout. But that's a topic for another day. But anyways, we are back. And I'm still a little stuffy, guys, so just bear with me here, alright? And I remember when I first started this talk show that I'd be like, man, 20-minute episodes. Like, I can't talk for 25 minutes straight. And look at me now. Now I'm like trying to stay in within that timeline, or else it's too long to edit. And as you can see, we put our social medias down here at the bottom. At the bottom right here. I mean, they're always in there, but usually I just edit them in. But now I just created an image so they can just stay there, and I don't have to go out of town again next week to Minnesota for my grandma's 80th birthday. So I'm gonna go be out of town next week. We might do a little on the road episode because I don't want to take a whole another week off. You know, we gotta keep the momentum rolling. Or I might just put out some short content. But anyways, so yeah, I traveled. When I was at the airport, I didn't really have any difficulties. I mean, it is a busy airport, so there's just like a little bit of like a 10-minute delay, just because like there's a lot of planes that were waiting to take off. You know, like sometimes you get stuck on the runway because there's just a lot of planes waiting to take off. Like that's just like going out to some airports. Like I think 14 airports. Like we're gonna get into that in a little bit. But yes, I was in Maryland, and it was just very nice there. Well, I was more in Virginia, but, you know, the DMV area is all one area, which I hope to move down there soon. We're looking, manifesting some things, working at some things, so hopefully it can happen. But yeah, so I was out there, and one day, me and my girlfriend were in Old Town, Virginia. It's, like, finally, like, a nice day outside, nice sunny day. Well, it's been nice down there a couple days, but it was, like, finally, like, a really, like, nice day. We're just gonna ignore him. But yeah, so it was a nice sunny day, and we're just sitting down, like, people watching, you know. And then there's this, like, lady, she's, like, comes out of that, she's like, alright, give me my effing money. You owe me some money. I was like, whoa, see, all the Karens are coming back out because they're like, oh, there's people outside that I can borrow. And he just looked at her. He was like, and he just walked away. He's like, I don't got time for this. So who knows what their situation was, but he seemed like he wasn't very concerned. He's like, you're a mother effing this and that and that. And I was like, whoa, relax. It's finally sunny outside. There's kids out here. Everyone's trying to enjoy their time. And you gotta cause a scene. Like, people have been so cooped up inside because of this horrible winter that now they're trying to get outside, and then they're gonna be acting crazy. So, guys, let's just go outside and enjoy the sunshine in peace and be peaceful, because I don't have time for all these people causing scenes. So let's just enjoy the weather, you know. But anyways, so yes, the airport situation. Riggs, shut the heck up. Riggs, I just took Riggs for a walk, and I was like, now just take your nap and shush it. But he doesn't like to do that. He likes to just freaking bark his head off. So here we go. So ICE agents, so TSA agents are working unpaid. So TSA agents are still working unpaid. ICE agents get paid to stand around at the airports. Here's what we need to know. So instead of funding TSA, Trump has deployed ICE agents to airport nationwide. Democrats have put forward a bill in Congress that would... Jeez. Freaking Rick just came busting in here and scared the crap out of me. You must have heard us talking about him. So yeah, he's over there. You can't see him. Alright, we got him. Here's Riggs, the freaking barking maniac. Oh no. Here he is. He's just an old man dog. He's gonna be 11. And yes, here he is. He's very smoky. Say hello, Riggs. Yes, this is my dog, Riggs. He's very crazy. If anybody would like him, they can have him. Get out of here. Get out of here. Oh, he's just gonna chill back there. He likes to be buddies with Gizmo and just hang out with him. He sits back there and they talk about things. But anyways. Yep, good boy. So yeah, the ICE agents have been at some of the airports as the lines grow longer and longer. So like, this is literally I think it's from the Atlanta airport, I believe. As you can see, he's just standing back there as this TSA agent is just working. ICE agents helping TSA at airports across the country this morning. So in response to President Trump's threat to send immigration and customs enforcement ICE agents to airports to help with long security lines caused by Congress, bills have passed a measure that would pay Transportation Security Administration employees, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, more than 50,000 TSA employees have worked without pay for over 5 weeks. Hundreds have quit, and Washington's answer isn't to pay them, it's to send ICE agents to do their jobs. So like, obviously, if you're a TSA agent, you have to go through a certain training. Like, you can't just be hired and then you just, start and you're like, oh, here you go. Like, you have to go through a rigorous training because there's a lot of things that are involved with airport security. So a lot of training. You can't just show up and be, you can't just show up and be like, oh, I'm here for my first day of work, and you just got hired 2 seconds ago. Like, that's not how it works. So it'll be very interesting to see how this all plays out over the coming weeks with a lot of spring breaks are coming up and soon. So it'll be interesting to see, because I'm going to Minneapolis, flying out of Boston next week. So it'll be interesting to see how the airport is. I know a lot of people have like travel anxiety and stuff like that, but I'm not really that nervous yet. Just trying to see how it all plays out. But we'll see, because on Saturday when I last was at the airport, it was like I got through security in like 5 minutes, maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and I was like, there was no like, it was chill. So we'll see what happens. It's gonna be very interesting to see what happens. But so basically we'll just show you guys this why they are been deployed.
There yet, they still have to hash out some of the details. So the agreement, as we're hearing about it, it would fund all of DHS except for certain functions of ICE. Then lawmakers, after they passed that, would give more funding to ICE later, using a bill that would only need Republican support to pass. And remember, ICE got a huge bump in funding from that giant tax bill that was passed last year, so they really have not been impacted by the shutdown so far compared to something like TSA. I spoke with Senator Mike Rounds this morning. He told me that he thinks this could all wrap up in the next few days.
We've had some pretty good progress in the last couple of hours. Moving forward, I think Republicans and Democrats will come together to get this thing done. We want the people that are in the airports to be able to move through.
Senators will continue working on the plan throughout this afternoon. President Trump, of course, still pushing for a vote for an election reform bill known as the SAVE Act.
So yes, the SAVE Act. You know, like you have to vote in person. Like you can't vote on the mail because it's fraudulent, and like all these claims from the 2020 election that was rigged, and that Biden won because he rigged it, and all the mail-in ballots were fake. But then there's been several investigations into this that has totally debunked this, and that the election was actually done lawfully in how it always has been done. The only difference was the mail-in ballots. So here we go. So the Save America Act, which is, we'll just give you an overview to this. Can't talk today. So there's been a lot of political things going on, like Trump starting wars, like the White House just doing things, like, and the Congress is just sitting back, relaxing, chilling, vibing while all this is going on. And so yeah, this is an article from The Hill. Basically, he just talked about like all this thing that, you know, is going on in Congress right now. It's the second week in a marathon debate over one of the worst, most undemocratic, most poorly crafted, and yes, most stupid pieces of legislation ever considered by Congress. So basically, it's called the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act, or Save America Act. And according to Donald Trump, is one of the most important and consequential pieces of legislation in the history of Congress and America itself. So basically what it does is, we'll just go down here. So it basically is fixing a problem that is not really a problem. Like you'll have to register to vote in person with either like a real ID, which is like the ID that has a little star on it, or you'll have to bring your passport or some sort of like proof that you're an American citizen, which, I mean, I have a passport just because in case I ever travel, but I don't have a real ID. And there's a lot of people, like maybe elderly people, that don't necessarily have a real ID or a passport that's like currently valid. And then if they probably have their birth certificate, but like, you know, if you're like, I don't know, like 70 to 80 years old, like you're not just pulling up your birth certificate every day of the week. You have to like dig it out, or, you know. But yeah, this article touched on like how this will be more harmful for the Republicans because a lot of their voters are older and they live in rural areas and they don't have a passport, like a real ID, or they got married and changed their name and they don't have like the proper documentation that is going to be required by this bill. So that's just what the Save America Act is. So we don't spend too much time on that because, you know, but yeah, so the airport, there actually was a really bad crash at LaGuardia yesterday. Like a plane ran into a truck during like an emergency, and like I don't know if you guys saw that, but it's just, that was not good at all. So there's kind of like, obviously they're trying to like move forward and so that people can travel like safely and everything like that. But like my thing is like, okay, so you're paying the ICE agents like all this money to just stand there, but like why can't you give that money to the TSA workers? The TSA workers have just been getting like screwed. Like the government shutdown happened and they weren't able to work. Oh, they were working, but they were just working without pay. And that was one of the longest shutdowns. That was one of the longest government shutdowns ever. It was for like 32 days or something like that. Like it's just a long time to like go without getting paid. Like these people have bills to pay and everything like that. And then now this happens and they're like, well, why not? Like they're gonna be like, if you had to go to work without getting paid, would you just keep doing that, or would you try to find another job? Like me personally, I'd probably just try to find another job. But some of them have stuck it out, and give credit to them. So just pay them, like just pay them what you owe them, and keep it pushing. But yeah, they're trying to resolve this issue currently. So Trump has signaled a shift towards backing DHS compromise with Democrats, and Senate Republicans believe President Trump is willing to accept a potential deal to fund the Department of Homeland Security following a White House meeting Monday night, which was last night. It would be a significant shift for Trump, who over the weekend reportedly said he would not make a deal with Democrats unless they move separate voting legislation known as the Save America Act, which was what we just talked about earlier. But Trump signaled he is open to a deal to reopen the Homeland Security Department, even if it doesn't fully fund immigration and customs enforcement's ICE during a 2-hour meeting at the White House Monday evening, according to GOP senators briefed at the meeting. So yeah, this would be nice because then everybody could just go back to traveling how they, like, no security lines. But like my thing is sometimes, like, if you travel, like if you, even like rush hour is not just on the highways, like rush hour is also at the airports, because there's busy times where you can travel. Like obviously if you're traveling like early in the morning, it's not going to be that much going on. But if you're traveling from like 3 to 7, like when everyone gets out of work and sometimes they have to go on like business trips and stuff like that, then the airport is going to be a little busier and the lines are going to be a little longer, especially if you're going to like an international airport or one of like the major airports. Like it's just going to be busy. But like I feel like, I don't know, the airports, like I remember there used to be like the occasional, like at least when I traveled when I was younger, from what I remember, it's like you go to the airport and like you just go through security and you be at your gate, and like unless there's some crazy weather or something like that would be the only delay. But other than that, like there wasn't really much, or unless it was some like crazy mechanical issue. Like I just don't ever remember being there such like concern over like the delays. But I don't know, we'll see what happens with all this, because it's just, I'll give you guys an update when I go to the airport. I'll do a live airport report. And hopefully I can just be like, well, yeah, I'm at the airport and I made it through security in 2 minutes.
I want to turn our attention now and give you this live look at RDU International. People flying out won't notice too many differences, but those arriving have horror stories of long wait times at other airports due to the partial government shutdown. WRAL's Willie Danley is one of those travelers and glad to be home after experiencing long lines at Hartsfield-Jackson Airport in Atlanta. Let's get to WRAL's Ali Katlabar live at RDU this noon hour. And Ali, what really happened with Willie?
Yeah, well, when he walked through Terminal 2, we really just saw a sigh of relief from Willie. Now, we aren't seeing those long TSA wait times here, but he dealt with that over in Atlanta. And take a look at this video. It shows Willie arriving back to RDU. We saw him arrive at Terminal 2 around 10 this morning. Now, earlier, Willie shared this video with us, and you can see those extremely long lines. He says he got to the Atlanta airport even earlier than he usually would, and he waited in those lines for hours. He tells me he was able to get to his gate just in time.
It wasn't looking good for a minute. I got to the airport more than 3 hours early.
3 hours.
As soon as I got out of my lift, the line was outside the door. And I was born and raised in Atlanta. Never seen a line like that at this airport.
Yeah, he was very grateful to be back. I do want to add that he does have Clear, and Clear was closed whenever he went to the airport.
See, I got a lot of trips coming up this year, all right? And I don't got time to be at the TSA line for 3 hours. But it's not their fault, so don't get mad, because, obviously there's a thing that the TSA workers are, like, very aggressive at certain airports, which is true. If you go to, like, New York or something like that, they're like, put the computer in a separate bin, put it in a bin. It's like, whoa. See, Gizmo's like, well, you can see him right there. But yeah, I've never had a bad experience with a TSA officer. Like, they're always very nice, and if you talk to them, they'll talk to you. Like, just be friendly to them. Like, they're not gonna freaking bite you or anything, But yeah, so I have a lot of trips coming up, alright? So, like, let's break it down. So, next week I'm going to Minnesota. And then May, I'm going to Denver. And then May, the end of May, my girlfriend's traveling here, so hopefully she has no difficulties. And then let's see, so May, June, I'm not going anywhere. Or I might drive to New York, but July, I don't think I'm going. No, end of July, I'm going to Miami. So end of July, like August, I'll be in Miami. So hopefully by then everything works out, because I don't got time to have flights canceled, but the tickets have been purchased in advance. And I think another thing is, if you're booking trips, watch the airline prices, because the gas prices, guys, I saw like freaking about the prices of traveling, specifically by airplane, because of the war in Iran. So let's see. So flight prices are rising sharply in early 2026 due to significant. Does that say significant? No, it says surging jet fuel costs linked to military tension in the Middle East, with domestic airfares up 10% to 124%, and higher fees expected through summer. So I think we're not really gonna see the full effects of this until the summer, when like places start to run out of their oil supplies and stuff like that, or like their reserves and all that stuff, because hopefully they still have enough to where they can they don't have to buy any more, and they can just go off what they have. But then once that starts to run out, that's when we might just see the airline prices increase. So get your tickets now, because I have. So if you guys got any trips planned up, just get them now. Before this all started, and obviously it was winter too, so sometimes in the winter, since people are driving less, like the gas prices are lower. But so I remember like a few weeks ago it was like $2.70, and I have like a very short commute to like my job, and then my other job, it's also like very short. Like I usually don't have to drive like more than maybe like 15 minutes. But yeah, so when I would drive by the gas station, it would be like maybe like $2.70, $2.30, like in that range. It got really low. Like it was like pretty much like pre-COVID gas prices, like standard gas prices. And now it's like, I saw some places like $3.40, like, so it's gone up a bit. So, but good thing I don't have to drive that far, because man, filling up, it's like, this is like the gas prices of a few years ago, where it's just like always over $3. Like you never saw a gas that was like under $3, which is what it used to be. Like, why does gas need to be so expensive? I want to touch on, I know we touched on it a lot today with a lot of stuff going on, and hopefully that the airports can continue to remain chill. We'll see what happens in the next couple weeks as this just started, and hopefully they can reach some type of agreement, and they can just end the, give them the funding, give them the money. Yeah, this is season 2. We talked about a lot of things today, all over the place a little bit. So yeah, season 2, episode 1, we're back, and we're just gonna continue to find new topics to talk about that are important. And short film Sundays, well, I think I forgot to do it the last Sunday because I was sick, but I did post one yesterday, and we're in the process of creating our next one. We've been filming for that, so stay tuned for that. And this has been another edition of Matters. We're back and better than ever. Season 2, episode 1, coming to you Thursday. But thanks for watching as always, and hopefully I can get all this stuffiness out so I can be not having to clear my throat all the time and coughing and everything like that. But guys, stay safe out there, because these viruses going around are just, oof, man, they'll take you for a whirlwind and just spin you around, throw you down, pick you up, spin you around, and then it's tough. But yes, this has been another edition of Matters, and we'll try to post another episode. I'll post one before I travel, obviously, but yeah, we'll be back next week as always on Matters. I'm your host, Matt Benson. Stay safe out there, guys. If you drive a car, just walk a little bit, because preserve the gas. But anyways, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in to season 2, episode 1, and love and peace always. Peace.